Yes. Hi, Suvathi.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, all right. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes, like so that
Yeah.
everybody else can join as well. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Try to figure out the photos thing by then.
We're still figuring out.
Yeah. What you can do, one more thing is, Suvathi, you can keep your laptop behind your phone, and you can turn the camera around. Think that
Okay.
would be possible. So you have your phone right now. So behind you can keep your laptop with the presentation, whatever is you've prepared. So you can just flip the camera over, and you can just show the presentation. Yeah,
Like
like
this.
that. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So maybe once you start talking, you do that. Abhi nahi. So I think that seems
Yeah.
fine.
So,
Your bright
whatever
as your
slide which.
laptop brightness you increase, and all of that. So I think that should be fine. So we have around 26 people who have, or 24 people. Okay. All right. We'll just wait for like some 5 minutes and then we'll start. And the comments, whatever, or any questions these students are asking, right? So I will be noting it down, and by the end of it, then
Okay.
we'll answer for them. I will tell you what questions they've asked, and you can answer it for them. No problem.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. How long do you think this will take you? Like how much content you've prepared for?
Wanna?
Sorry.
Because I am not deviating from the process, from draft to draft. So, uh,
Okay. So it'll take you 1 hour,
only
40 minutes, is it?
yes.
That's good enough. In last
One
20
hour is
minutes, we can see.
maximum time. Yeah. 1 hour is
Yeah, yeah,
maximum
yeah.
time. So it may end
Huh.
before that also.
Yeah, yeah. Any questions are there? That last couple of minutes, we can keep that also. No problem.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
We'll do that for like at least 10 minutes. In
Huh,
case
right. That's right.
anyone.
Even let's see how many questions these people have. Because this is live, no, they'll have like a lot of questions also, maybe compared to like a seminar and all that.
Yeah, or maybe we can respond later if there are so many questions.
Yeah. So anyways, we will respond later only. Don't respond for them in between. I will be taking the thing down.
Okay, okay.
I will be jotting it down and we'll do it later. So I think 24. If I do this, that means only my camera will be off. Okay, fine. So in case you're talking in between and if I have to get to something, then I can just turn it off.
Okay, so we have
Yeah,
option.
that option, yes. You anyways have to be there. What will I sit with you for like so long, right? So that I can just do
No,
that.
no, no.
Yeah. I think this is too. I think we'll start because it's the same number of people who are joining and leaving. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start, no, Suvathi, then.
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our live seminar today. And we have Ms. Suvathi with us, who is the speaker for today. And she is an ex-student of IIFT who's done her postgraduate diploma in fashion design and boutique management. And she's here to talk about how to pick the right theme for your fashion show and how the entire process of fashion show will be conducted and until the ramp walk. to picking the fabrics and the theme to the entire ramp show. Everything she will be talking about clearly with you all today, the entire process of it. I think this will be great for you all to take it down, because in case you are ever going to start do a fashion show, I think this is very interesting topic that you've chosen to talk about today, Suvathi. So over to you now. You can start, and everybody, whoever has any questions, you can put it in the comments and we will answer it for you all later. Okay, Suvathi, you can start with the seminar for today.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you. Hi all. Yeah, another quick round of introduction. So my name is Suvathi, and I am alumni of IIFT. Just finished my fashion show this month. So today I'm going to take you through what are all the preparations we need to do for a fashion show, like from the draft to the RAM. Okay, so I will cover as much as I can, but this topic is very vast, and whatever I can cover in 1 hour, I will cover. So the first thing is, why do we need fashion show? Like everything is going fine. Like why do we need fashion show? What will happen without fashion show? So fashion shows are the channel of communication between the designer and the people. You know, whatever the designers are designing, that needs to go to the customer. So like I will have a new idea, and I want to before the preparing a bulk merchandise. Okay, I need to show what is my idea to the people, so that to understand the feedback and how the process works. Okay, so that's why we are having a fashion show. It helps the designer to share their new ideas with the customer and reach the audience before they go for mass production. Okay, so this fashion design process, these phases are very important. Okay, so it is very important to development of design requires without with right rigorous involvement. So sometimes some garments will take from 18 months to 24 months also. Okay, so the first thing is, what is the first step of fashion show? It's theme selection. Okay, so if you see, I think everyone would have watched any or other fashion shows, and if you see, there will be multiple garments, and all these garments will be connected to each other, and all the garments will be prepared with some connection between one or other garment. So the reason is they select a theme, and all the garments will be prepared on base of that theme. Okay, so the first and important step for fashion show is theme selection. So how am I going to select my theme? Like what should I do to select a theme? So to select a theme, okay, the first step you need to do is fashion forecasting and trend analysis. So what is fashion forecasting? Fashion forecasting, so there are several teams and companies who are working on to understand, okay, they do a lot of research and understand what is going to be the fashion element for, next spring, summer, or autumn, winter. Okay, so before I do a show, before I want to do a fashion show, okay, the important thing I need to do is to go through the fashion, fashion forecasting and trend analysis. Okay, so I will get a creative idea, and always, but my creative idea should also go along with what is forecasted to have in the coming year. Okay, so I cannot do something which is which was a fashion trend for last year or maybe before that. Okay, so I need to go according to the trend. So that's why I need to do a fashion forecasting, and I need to do a research on what I am going to, what theme is going to go in my fashion show. So that's the first thing. The next one is conceptualization. So it's one of the important fashion design stages, where the designer will choose the theme based on trend of color. As I said, it will be taken from the fashion forecasting. So if you see for summer, spring summer 2023, the fashion forecasting, and to your information, uh, these fashion forecasting, you can get it in Google. Like, there are several companies like WGSN. Uh, there's so many companies, and you can, Harper Bazaar, if you go to their pages, they will show you what is the fashion forecasting for next spring summer. So if you see for this spring summer, if you take the fashion forecasting, it is actually purple hues, blue hues, tassel details, laces and laser cutting, frothy and feathery. So these are the themes. So I go through this and I will think like, okay, so these are the colors which are going to be on trend next, coming spring, summer, and I'm going to choose this color. I'm going to take, frothy and feathery, or I think like, okay, I'll go with lace and laser cutting or tassels. So anything I want to do, I will choose according to it. And in the process of conceptualization, there are two more things which are, once you decide, okay, once you pick your theme, okay, so for me, okay, I have selected a theme, so purple as my color, and lace, I want to do something with lace, feather, as well as the ruffles. Okay, I'm choosing my theme. Okay, so theme is ready, color is ready. Then for me to get connected in that till the end of the process, I will prepare a mood board as an inspiration board as well. So why mood board and inspiration board? So I'll prepare these boards, and so whenever I want to do process with my fashion, like process with sourcing, selection of material, or whatever it is, I'll go through this and make sure that I am not deviating from what I have decided, because it happens. So whenever, for example, you decide something to do for a fashion show, there are chances like you keep deviating from what you have decided. Okay, so that's why mood board and inspiration board. So mood board, it's a collage, okay, wherein it gives a visual summary of the images, objects, the material swatches you want to use, and the texture of the fabric, so everything will be there. And the inspiration or concept board, it shows the style which you want to use. Like I said, we want to do ruffles, laces, tassels. So the style it will add, and the moods and colors, everything. Okay. So difference between mood board and inspiration board is uh, the mood board, it conveys what it felt regarding the idea of the concept board. So I'm going to quickly show you guys a mood board which is created. Give me a minute. Sorry, yeah. So just see. So this is the mood board, okay, wherein the colors and whatever colors and what is the texture I'm going to use. As I said, that ruffles, I'm going to use that one, and the concept board. So here, the design, what I'm going to use, the accessories, what I'm going to use, how am I going to do it. So all these things will be updated in the concept board. Okay, so once the mood board and the concept board is done, uh, then so I know my theme. I know what are the elements which I'm going to add in my fashion garments. And the next one is I need to construct my garment. So I cannot go ahead and construct my garment directly. So first thing I will do is I'll do an illustration, which is called fashion illustration. So fashion illustration, I will have, if I'm planning to do 10 garments for a fashion show, I will draw n number of fashion illustrations, um, because that helps me, like I don't have to waste my fabric or anything. I'll illustrate what is my idea. Okay, I'll illustrate it on a paper, and then give me a minute. I will show you a picture of that as well. Yeah. Hope you all can see it. So these are references I have taken from Google. So these are not my work. Okay, so the credit goes to the people who drew it. See, I said purple hue. Okay, so purple, feathery, frothy, as well as the laces. So keeping that in mind, I'll construct, I'll draw an illustration. So this is what going to go. Okay. So the next step is illustration. And in illustration also, if you see, so if you would ask me what is illustration, it's the art of communication of fashion ideas which the designer has to put it into a paper, illustration, like on as a flag. Okay. So these are also called as fashion sketching. And we know the fashion illustration or fashion sketching has, you can do it as do it via a traditional way, which is via hand. Okay, you draw it, you color it, you use whatever offline materials you can use. Or now, if you see, there are so many digital digital medias are also encouraging you to do this fashion illustration, where you have that fashion figures ready. You just have to design the dress, and then the fabric swatches and everything. You will import it online only, and you can do a illustration. So you have so many digital medias as well, like CAD, we know, which is old, and then we have Procreate, 3D Close. So all these things are currently there for you to, encourage you to do this illustration, and it makes your work easier as well. So yeah, so now from the process, I have my theme ready, I have mood board, I have my concept board, I know what I'm going to do, and I have my illustration as well. So there will be so many illustrations, and then you will pick whatever suits or whatever is the best among all the illustration, and then you're gonna, the next thing you're gonna do is sourcing. Okay, so you have everything, you know what you're going to do. The next thing is sourcing. So when, please post your questions if you have any. We may answer all your questions at the end of the session. Okay, so next to the fashion illustration, the next thing is sourcing, because you have your, you have everything ready. So, sourcing, you will, sourcing has three sections. One is fabric selection. Okay, so what is the fabric which you are going to use? What is the color you are going to use for your fabric? And what is the, what kind of texture you want to give? Because your collection will have the same texture and the fabric you will have. So you will choose that as well, color, fabric. And the next thing is trim selection. What is the trim which you're going to use? So trims are like, zips, laces, and extra things which you do for the fabric. So these things, comes under sourcing. Okay, so why do we have to do a sourcing? Because once you decide the theme and everything, you go and collect all your fabrics at a time that, there won't be any mismatch or Can you explain what moldboard is? Yeah. So your questions will be answered at the end. So
Suvathi,
make
you
sure
just
that
continue with your seminar. You don't. I will take care of the questions for you, and
questions.
we will
Okay.
answer it by the end of it. You just continue with your seminar. You don't worry about that.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. So designers illustrate the sketches, okay, keeping the fabric texture, feel, color, weight, etc. in the mind. Okay, then fabric sourcing plays a vital role in the garment development. Okay, so the you know it, the fabric sourcing primarily depends on the cost of the fabric, type of the fabric, as well as how it is going to help me uh, uh, you know, how is it going to help? So like I should choose the right fabric. Like if I, for example, so the theme which we have chosen, okay, so it's um, purple with purple feathery and frothy. Okay, so which means my fabric will have so much of ruffles and the garment looks like the frothy and feathery effect. So for this, I cannot choose fabric which is very stiff and not flowing. It's not going to serve my purpose because if I choose fabric like that and if I design my garment, obviously I'm not going to succeed. So what happens is, I'll try to make a ruffle with some stuffed cloth. It may not happen. Okay, so that's why the fabric type is very important and cost as well. Like, when you're taking in bulk, you will look for something which is very budget friendly. That's another thing. And the next step is to identify the fabric that can enhance the appeal of the silhouette which I am choosing. Like I said, if I am going for ruffles, then obviously I need to go for a flowy material rather than a stiff material. Okay, and there are other properties which we need to consider, which are like tenacity, weight, etc. Okay, the next one is trim selection. Okay, so trims are, as I said, the laces, the zipper, the extra things, the embellishment things which I do on the fabric. Okay, so that also needs to go along with the color and theme I'm choosing. Okay, so I say it is feathery, but I'm incorporating something different in my fabric. For two garments, I will put something, and for two garments, if it is something, no, it is not going to serve the purpose. When the models walk on the ramp, obviously there will be a lot of difference, and in so that's not going to make it look good. Okay, so trim selection is also very important. The color of the trim and where I'm going to use it, everything matters. And next one is color selection. So our theme here is purple hue. I'm choosing purple. I cannot, it should be a monochrome of purple. Um, I cannot use, same exact color to the complete fabric. No, it's not going to serve the purpose. So maybe for the collar, it will be light purple, or maybe for the bodice, it is going to be some other purple. And laces, whether I want to choose the light color or dark color, so everything matters. So that's what the point of sourcing. And after the sourcing is done, the next step is, so you guys are all with me, I think. Okay, so we have our theme ready. So that's the first thing. We selected our theme. Okay, so how I selected my theme? From the fashion forecasting and trend analysis I got, or I can also do a research on this. Okay, and I'm choosing my theme. So here, our theme, I choose purple and frothy and feathery effect. Okay, so frothy and feathery effect is like how the frogs look. It's like ruffles, and I will add feathers. So that's done. And next one is the conceptualization, wherein I decide the exact color combinations which I'm going to use, and the fabric textures which I'm going to use, as well as I have prepared my mood board and concept board to make sure that I'm not deviating from, it's a collage where, it helps me not deviating from my concept. And next, what we did is, we did the illustration part. We did the illustration based on what is my theme and, referring the concept board as well. So it can either be handmade, like, traditional, or it can be digital as well for your convenience. And the fourth step we did was sourcing of the fabric, wherein we choose what type of fabric, what is the cost, as well as the weight of the fabric which I'm going to use, as well as we did the trim selection, as well as the color selection for this. The next step is we have everything ready. The next step is drafting or draping. Okay, so I have fabric and everything, but still this drafting or the draping. Okay, so I'll just in, uh, inform you about, like, explain you about what is draping. So draping is, we will have the silhouettes, wherein you use the fabric and you will drape it on silhouettes to see how it looks. Okay, so this draping or drafting, the first fit will be done only on muslin fabric, not on the real fabric. The reason is, if you try to cut or drape your real fabric, what happens is you're going to lose it, because if there is something wrong, like, if you're cutting it, the original fabric will be a waste. Okay, so you cannot afford to waste that, because that is costly. So you will do this draping or drafting method first with the muslin fit. So draping is, is the modeling of muslin based fabric on the dress form or figure to better understand where it must be cut and where the markings must be made. Okay, so what you do, you will take your muslin fabric, okay, and you will, as mentioned, like, you will drape it on the dress form. Okay, so for example, you need more pleats here. Okay, so you will prepare all the pleats, or you need some, darts. So you will use the fabric on the dress form, and wherever you need the markings, like, wherever you need to put a dart, you will use that, you use a chart, mark it there, make a dart on the dress form, and you will pin it. And then you come down and you make sure the fabric is, there should be no loose ends, or there should be no, creases over the fabric when you're draping it on the dress form. Make sure it is proper, and then wherever you need a dart, you will do it. Wherever you need extra fabric, or wherever you need that should be a flowy thing, you will cut it. And if you want pleats, there are so many videos available on YouTube on how to drape. Okay, you guys can go through it, and you will get a idea like how draping is done. Okay, so you'll do all the pleating. You'll cut the fabric wherever is required. You take the fabric, that muslin. So once everything is done on the dress form, it is perfect. And if you feel that it is good, so whenever you're doing a pleat, or whenever you're turning it, or whenever you're doing any changes on the fabric on the dress form, what you will do, you use those pins, and you will pin it. So then what you will do, you will remove it as it is. Okay, and you will put it on your original fabric, and you're going to cut it. Okay, so this is draping. And the next one is drafting. So drafting, we all know, you will, take the measurement of the model or a dress form. Okay, first, after taking the measurement, so there are different drafting methods. You will draft what you're going to do. Say example, the bodice is normal, but you need a sleeve which is enhanced sleeve with a lot of puff and all. Okay, so you will draft a sleeve for that. Okay, first, for drafting also, the first thing is you're going to cut it on your muslin fabric and do the fit test. Okay, so once the muslin fit is done, we're going to put it on the model or the test form and, do the fit test. And, based on that, there are corrections that will be done. And then you will take it, whatever lessons learned in the masculine fit, like, you have to do this, you have to do that, all these things, all the lessons learned will be taken from that. And, then you are going to apply it on your original fabric, and you're going to, stitch it. Yeah, so that's the next part after the draping and drafting bit. The next one is stitching it on your original fabric. So here, as I said, if you have used the method of draping, you'll take the muslin fit, the measurement, whatever you have taken for the muslin fit. So you also do, once you take the muslin fit, you're going to anyhow stitch the muslin fit and you see the fitting. But along with that, you will also copy that texture on a sheet of paper, because, you have to use it for your, original fabric. Okay, so you will take that measurement and you're going to stitch it on your original fabric. Okay, so when you're stitching it on original fabric, it gives a final look. And, along with that, whatever embellishments you want to do and whatever accessories you think it can go along with that particular garment or the collection, you can incorporate that also. Okay, so the final step is the ram. Okay, so if we all know what is happening in the front end of the fashion show, but the backstage of the fashion show is very interesting and very, it's very busy. It's a very busy section of the fashion show actually. Okay, so there are so many things, like on the backstage we have models, we have designers, stylists, makeup artists, hairdresser, and other people from the fashion field are also there. We have a backstage manager, and there is someone in the front as well supporting the whole process of it. Okay, so this is actually the complete flow from the process of fashion show, from the draft to the ram. Ma'am, I think I am done. So shall we go on to the questioning session?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. We can go on to the question answer session. So yeah, there were a couple of questions that were asked, Suvathi. So one question was, what is a mood board? So some students were asking that they didn't completely understand the concept of what mood board is. So if you could explain what that is in simple way, so that would be helpful.
Okay, so mood board, mood board is a collage. Okay, so what the collages in the mood board content is, it's actually a visual summary of I have chosen my theme. Okay, so it has all the visual summary of the theme, the images, objects, the fabric swatches which I wanted to use, the color hues which I have, trims, whatever I wanted to use. So it's basically a collage of all those things. So
yeah,
it helps
it's
the
basically
designer.
like a color and picture palette put together.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I have
Which is
showed it. Do you
demonstrated
want me to?
in terms of like items and like things and all of that. It will be demonstrated through
Yeah.
that. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll share them the mood board and concept board one more time. I think
Okay. Yeah,
few
I think
people
that
have
will be
joined
helpful.
with me. Yeah, so this is it.
Okay.
Just let me know
Actually,
if you guys
it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yes.
see.
So,
It's
can
like,
you explain
see, I
why
said,
you've chosen what you've chosen in this mood board? I think it'll be better for them to
yeah.
understand as well.
Yeah, so for this session, I was, going through the for fashion forecasting, and there they mentioned purple hues, feathery and frothy laces, as well as tassels are going to be, popular in spring summer 2023. So uh, you know the colors I have chosen, so these are all the purple hues. Okay, so that's why I used
Right.
few as that. And few, to represent the, a lace work. So, it looks like a lace. And if you see, it looks like that, frothy look. Frothy is basically,
Correct.
meaning like it's a ruffle look. So that's
Ruffles,
why I
right.
have used it. Yeah, and glitters as
Okay.
well. And, this to represent the tassel image. So that's,
Okay. Okay. I hope
and
that
in the,
question was answered correctly.
yeah,
Yeah, please go
and
on, Suvathi, please. Yeah.
no problem. No. The concept board, if you see, I have updated uh, the embellishments which I'm going to use, as well as the accessories I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to use, the color and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that's very much about mood board and concept board.
Right. I hope that question was answered for the one who was asking the question. So next question, Suvathi, was that how to choose the right theme and what theme is the best that will go for a fashion show?
Yeah. So choosing a right theme, as I said, theme can be anything, whatever inspires you. So I suggest you, okay, I will show one more picture. Okay. Yeah. See, this is also a theme.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So, yeah. So I would suggest a name for you to go through. Iris Van Herpen. Okay. So she is my like
Yeah.
inspiration in fashion designing. She's a very great designer, and she designs
Mm-hmm.
something like this. Even for
Mm-hmm.
now, the recent Black Panther movie also, she designed a garment. So her designs
Okay.
and inspirations are completely different. So selecting a theme is absolutely on your idea, like, how are you going to do it? So
Mm-hmm.
you can choose anything, but one thing is you need to go through this fashion forecasting to see if that fits to the upcoming fashion trend. So that is
Right.
very
Right.
important. You can even
It
choose
is very important to
uh,
be in the trend line, is
yes,
what you suggested.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So I will move to the next question then. Next question was if it is done on a dress form, then how will the fitting for the models happen? Because on the dress
I
form, the
didn't.
measurement, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
basically the next question was that if you are doing it on a dress form, then how the final fitting on the model happens? Because of course the measurements vary over there. So how does it fit on the model, right, when it's done on a dress form was the next question.
yeah. So we know the beauty standard of models, so they strictly follow those, and they like 90 percentage of the time the dress forms and model they fit in, but there are few times wherein you
And there is
may have
actually, I think,
to.
a certain measurement that is already fixed and given out to work on it.
Yes,
So that is a measurement that is worked on. And then, yeah, okay, that is what is done.
that's right. Yeah, and in very rare cases you may have to adjust it
Right.
based on that. So, and yeah, so whenever you're stitching, make sure that you should also be ready for that adjustment bit as
Some
well,
room for
very
adjustments
rarely.
has to be
Yeah,
given, right?
yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, there will be a model fitting that is done right before the show.
Testing,
One
yeah,
or two,
one,
there's a one model fitting will be done based on after the model fit is done, then your small measurements
the,
can be
yes,
changed.
yes, ma'am,
Right.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, shall I move on to the next question then?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, what is the time that is given for designing a dress for the fashion show? I think mostly the question is that how much time would be the perfect time to use, like, to design for the fashion show?
Okay. So it's okay. To answer this question, so we have Bangalore Fashion Week, which is happening in the month of
Yeah.
December. So they will roll out, whether if any designers are interested, they will roll out the notification 2 months earlier only. So we will have
Right.
enough time. So you start the moment when you decide that you are going to do it. But I would suggest, if you're constructing more garments, you need minimum 1 month to 2 months. Uh, yeah,
Right.
minimum a month for you to, because there's a lot of things happening. If you're doing it in
Yeah.
hurry, you may tend to mismatch. The colors may go wrong, or you may not get, the desired fabric when you're doing it, when you're
Right.
sourcing for the fabric, and also minimum a month is required.
to completely design it and all that.
Yeah, that,
Okay.
if you want it to be very perfect.
Hmm. There was also one more question, Swati, is that most of the fashion shows, the problem that they have faced is that the fitting in the end on the model. So let's say, okay, of course, the model fitting is done and so the measurements are fixed. But last minute, there's always that last minute behind
Yeah.
in the green room. There's a small issue that's always there. So how do we fix that in the last minute?
It's with the help of safety pins, and there will be
Yeah.
the stylist whoever is working on the backstage. Obviously,
I
they
think you
help
can give a little
work with
example of our fashion night as well.
fashion.
That we
Yeah,
always have one machine over there at the backstage.
yes.
Also, there is in the green room one machine is always kept,
One minute.
which quickly you can go and like fix it. As well as you have to be should. I think you should explain how if something happens, how quickly you can fix it off. What you have to do, you have to come up with something on spot and change the design also if you have to. But do something if a trouble comes. I think you should
That's
explain
right.
that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am. So, we keep all the, extra tying things. As
Hmm.
ma'am said, that we will also have a machine ready, and then we have needles and everything will be there.
Hmm.
So you can
Okay.
actually do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Of course, green room is like the most hectic place where this is
That is,
happening because
yeah,
it is
we
like
all
at that minute
see
one
the,
girl is running, going and doing the last fixing and then coming on. So it is very interesting to watch that also and be a part of that green room. But yeah, it's a very hectic place to be in as well.
yeah, the fashion show, the ramp is like middle of the sea where you see nothing. It's like so peace, calm, and running
Right.
smoothly. Like, it's
Right.
flowing smoothly. But the backstage is like the show where, it's lot of,
Actually, correct.
so much of things happening. And, to understand the fashion show better, I think you at least need to work on the backstage. And I think I
Right.
got that
Yeah.
experience because of IIFT. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, that's great. You also, I think, spoke about your designs and you had also added like lights to it and everything, right? Did
No, I
you?
have not. So the theme we choose was bioluminescent. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
in the seawater creatures where create light. So we
Right.
actually incorporated light on the fabric, and
Huh.
that was really a great show. Um,
Correct. Yeah, it came out
yeah.
really
So
well.
the
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have those concept boards on my laptop, or else I would have
You should have
shown
shown
it to
it. No
everyone.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem. If anyone has any more questions, please ask her. She's here to answer all your questions. Yeah, let's just wait if anyone has any questions. Okay. What was your inspiration actually, Swathi, to choose the theme that you had chosen?
So this was something which so what we did fashion forecasting. More than that, we also did something like, what if some theme which nobody ever did inside.
You want
So
to do
this
something
was
very
done,
different.
yeah, yeah, somewhere,
Right.
internationally, these were done, but we wanted to do it something which nobody picked it up, and that's how we came up with it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't think anyone has any more questions. So, okay, Swati, then we'll end the session, like the seminar for
Okay,
today.
ma'am.
Thank you so much actually coming on and speaking about it
Okay.
because I think not a lot of them understand what the whole process is like. For a lot of people, fashion show is like a very fancy thing. But behind that, it's like it's very nice to design and put it across on the stage and all that. But back end, how much y'all designers actually work for it is very different.
It's
And I think that
yes.
you've put it across today of what and all goes through it, which I think it was a very nice, well spoken and well, told these two people like the knowledge that you have shared. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge and your experience with the students.
Thank you, ma'am. All experience gained from IIFT, of course. And I'm
Yeah.
really
And
grateful.
then we are glad that you were able to also be a part of the fashion show and your designs also came across really well. So that was a good thing as well that you were able to showcase it. I think there was another question right now, how to select
Okay.
themes.
So selecting themes is, you know, so theme selection is, it happens, you know, like to you, for example, you see a flower and you see that the texture, the flowiness of the flower is good. You can obviously, select that as a theme, and you can construct a garment on that. And then you
So
go
she
in and
wants to know
seeing like,
specifically what area should they look into. So let's say now we give it to them that okay, select a theme. So I think they want to know which area they need to look into to choose the right theme.
that is based on, the customer you have. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, in India, if you see the recently all these origami type of garments are blooming now. So earlier they were not there.
Hmm.
Like it was,
Hmm.
we
Right, right.
compared to, yeah, international audience, we were little behind when in coming to choosing those fancy garments and all. But now
Right.
it is also blooming. So based on your consumer and the audience, you can choose it. So if you want to go for traditional ones, and then you can choose colors, or you can choose
Hmm.
a particular style, like ikat, if you want to try, and
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
you can do so.
I think it's like you said, choosing ikat or something. Like you choose like that one thing, and then you do more research into it, and then
more
you
to it,
elaborate
yeah.
your theme into it. I think that's a first step that goes on to.
Yeah, so using ikat fabric, you are,
So
combining
actually,
the
her
Western
question is
and
more not on the consumer end. Like, let's say only for fashion show to just walk on the show only. Like how we choose for the fashion night and all. How the theme should be picked in the right way. I think you've answered it, but she did not want it in the focus of a consumer.
not based on the focus of customer. Like, the main reason for us is to
For the
customer.
consumers
But
only.
yeah,
You
if,
do the design
yeah,
for the consumers.
yeah, like you can take Lady Gaga as an example, like, because her the costumes will be always you know uh,
Right, of course.
completely different. So it's, yeah, so that's important. So when you're designing something that is for someone to wear, so
Right.
that is very important.
And
But
everybody,
theme
Suvathi is
selections,
not just speaking on the like in terms of just ramp walk, but she's also speaking in general as a designer when you're picking a theme for your design collection. Overall, when you're launching it, that is what it's supposed to be like, is what she's talking about. Yeah, I think that's your friends. Right. Okay. I think we're done with the questions for today. So it was really great. Thank you so much, Suvathi, once again for coming in.
thank
And
you.
let's hope we have more sessions with you, more seminars with you, where you can come up with more interesting
Definitely,
topics
ma'am.
and share your experience with everybody.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah, definitely. It was a nice
Okay. Thank
experience
you.
for me as well. Yeah. Thank you all
Yes.
for joining. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
ma'am,
all
for
for
the invite.
joining. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.